my partner, my co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am your father.
Just to get the Cowboys two good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about. All right, you're looking live at Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, I'm joined with my dad, Cowboy Joe 64, Cowboy Joe, and we're back with another one on our Sunday broadcast about the takeaways from the game that we watched yesterday. So you wanted to go ahead and say what's up to the people and kind of let us know what we're going to be talking about or your first point.
What's up, people? Appreciate you guys joining. Talk about this Cowboys preseason game. What
Yeah,
we saw, the Joe Milton experience is the best thing I can call it.
yeah, uh, man. I'm just gonna be 100, man. I mean, man. I mean, it's really, man. What can I say? It's cliche, I guess you could say. I mean, it's like, man, we really don't need to talk about Joe Milton. Don't want to talk about Joe Milton. I mean, the Cowboys. The only thing that I could say that's coming from the Joe Milton thing is, again, for 30 years now, which we're gonna talk about today. We'll about our research that we did yesterday. But for 30 years now, we've had a incompetent front office that does bad bad football business when it comes to uh football business, when it comes to contracts, when it comes to paying players, when it comes to drafting, when it comes to who they pay, when it comes to trading. There's a stigma that the Cowboys have that says that they always get, you know, the short end of the stick when it comes to trading for players and giving up draft picks. And, you know, there's a model of the NFL that you should follow. And there is no excuse for a NFL franchise to have a stigma of we don't utilize free agents. We're a draft and develop team. We uh, we don't like to spend big in free agency, and we don't like to trade for players, and that we're gonna have to pay a big contract. All of these things, like that I just named, those things are like are not acceptable for an NFL franchise. The NFL model is not built that way. If you have a team that doesn't utilize free agency, they're gonna lose a lot of times because it's free agency is a thing for a reason. If you have teams that don't spend that don't trade and do things like that, they're gonna lose. If you have a draft and develop team that's all they do, they're gonna lose because the NFL is not set up for them to succeed that way. But I said all that to say this: for the last 4 or 5 years, the Cowboys always trade away picks like fourth round picks, fifth round picks, and they always lose. They traded away Trey Lance that was just straight up incompetent. They traded Amari Cooper. They got nothing back for him after trading a one for him. That's incompetent. They traded for Joe Milton. They traded a fifth round pick for Joe Milton. That was incompetent. They paid. They moved up in the draft this year to get Shamar James, I think, and that was a fifth round pick, and we see that how he's playing. So Shamar James is playing good, and he was a fifth round pick. Shamar James is looking like he's going to be a rotational piece on our team, and he was a fifth round pick. Dak was a fourth round pick. There are a lot of players in this league that are fifth round picks, fourth round picks, and they end up doing good things. So I don't want to make it seem like, and I don't want to say a fifth round pick is not something to be discussed because it is. And so you wasted a fifth round pick on Joe Milton. You could have kept Trey Lance. You could have kept the guy that was playing. We were playing last night, Cooper Rush. Will Greer is good enough. So there's just so trading a fifth round pick for Joe Milton is just inexcusable. He This is why the Patriots did not care about giving him away. This is why when you watched, like I said earlier in this year, when you watch Joe Milton, it's fool's gold because it's like, yeah, you can watch Joe Milton out of 100 plays, he's gonna have 9 good plays, but 91 of them are gonna be like what we've seen thus far. And I say throughout these last 2 games, preseason games, he probably had what about maybe 80 snaps. On 80 snaps, he's had maybe 4 or 5 good plays out of 80 snaps. But he had
Mm.
one. He had one yesterday when he threw it to Flanor. I mean Mingo on the sideline, and I think yesterday he had like 46 plays. I think so. Out of 46 plays, he had one good play, and then these plays are not like bad on Shotty's play calling. These receivers are like open, and he's missing wide open targets. Uh, these guys are like open downfield, and he's like not an NFL quarterback. And also, I wanted to say the thing about Shotty was Shotty had a couple plays yesterday where it was like 31 and he was passing it. And I was just like, Shotty, it's 31. You have Phil Maffa. Why do you have to me, I mean, to me it's just like the I don't know if I want to call it the ergonomics. I guess I can call it the what is it? It's like the things that you do.
Analytics,
No, it's like the
tendencies. I mean, what like on
kind
a
of,
31?
yeah, like the things that you're supposed to do in a football game. Like for instance,
Well,
like things like this. I can give you an example. I'm gonna be quiet. Like things like this. Like on 3rd and 1, you bring in a back like Mafa, and to run the ball on 3rd and 1. Like if you have Deuce in the game, you want to kind of try to run some plays to get him out the backfield, or like 3rd and 1, you got Tyler Booker. He's your first year uh, guard here. So what you want to do is you want to run behind Booker on 3rd and 1, or on those kind of plays. So like I guess that's what I'm saying, like whatever that's called, the
play
thing.
selection.
Yeah, the play selection, the things that you're supposed to do, the substitutions, the calling of timeouts, the challenges, the play selection, run versus pass. If you see that Joe Milton is having a hard time completing passes downfield, then why don't you try to throw some passes? Why don't you Why don't you call some plays that are like 5 yard stops just to get him going? Or if you
Mm.
if you know that he can run the ball, Joe Milton can run, but he's having a hard time throwing the ball. Well, why don't you run some boots, some play action, try to get him out the sideline. Just call a play for him to just snap it and run. Like
Okay.
we've seen none of that from Shotty, like none of that. So yeah,
So I'm gonna try to redo my thing here, but let me before I do that. So I think in Shotty's defense, in both games, he's called some plays that were basically there. They were open. Joe Milton just missed wide open receivers in the first game. He probably left a couple of touchdowns on the board. That's how wide open they are. He underthrew Mingo. In the game last night, that 3rd and 1 that you're talking about,
yeah.
Miles Sanders, the first down is there a couple of times, but he didn't put his head down and get it. The last play, he ran through the wrong gap.
Miles Sanders.
Miles
I don't.
Sanders, he had a double team to his left. He didn't run behind the double. He went behind the single where the
He's.
defender was.
I'm through with him.
Talk about Miles Sanders while I restart my thing.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is, y'all, I'm gonna pull up the Cowboys roster, and I'm gonna just go down the Cowboys roster and give you my honest opinion on if these players should make the team or not. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down the roster. Me and my dad gonna break down whether these players should make the team or not.
Mm.
And
So while you're pulling that up,
uh-huh.
yeah, Miles Sanders, he's a high Clinton Dix.
Yeah,
That's what he is. They could really, if you had to choose between him and Deuce, I would keep Deuce. If you
yeah,
had to choose between him and Malik Davis last night again, he's just a downhill runner. Somebody's gonna make the team instead of Malik Davis, and it's gonna be, really a shame. But
Mhm.
it's all politics. And but now Miles Sanders shouldn't make the team.
No, I mean, she like they getting away from the athletes. Like like
Playmakers.
you got to just play playmakers. Like these last couple years, we've had that on our team, especially the year that we had Tony Pollard and them. Like that was say what you want about Tony Pollard. He was a playmaker. Say what you want about Cedric Wilson. He was a playmaker. It was some
Amari
guys.
Cooper too.
Amari Cooper, straight up playmaker. It's some guys on defense, they playmakers. Like it's some guys like we ain't seen where in the world is my boy at. We ain't seen him.
Who?
Uh Wanye. Is he hurt?
No, he's been playing. He was coming off an injury. But he
Mhm.
played last night. He was out there. You've seen him make some tackles. Izzy has pretty much been involved. So look, Izzy and Wanye again, they just need to play. You
Yeah.
can't grade them on preseason.
Nah.
Is Childress and Keemon Hall better than Izzy? I don't know, but they really, I could argue they play different roles. But the bottom line is, we talked about this last night during the game. If
Mhm.
Jimmy Johnson was the coach of this team, he would have a role for Izzy, Wanye, Childress, and Keemon Hall would be able to play. It's just all about coaching, and you know um, they want to do this rotation on the defensive line. That's what Dan Quinn did, kind of similar to Jimmy. The reality is that you don't have the guys to do it. You don't have the horses, and we
Nah.
we 2 weeks, 2 3 weeks away from the season. So, but no, Shotty. One of the things I'm disappointed with Shotty, we got to talk about this is what's up with his whole persona during the games. He has all this energy. I know the first time you were exposed to Shotty, you heard him in the background in camp. He really high energy, kind of like he's been talking all training camp. But during the games, what's up with his whole little energy thing? He just kind of standing there, not a whole lot of expressions. That's not going to work.
Mm-mm.
What is that
Well,
all about?
to me, what it's about is, I mean, like, man, to me, it's just like I feel like everybody's equal. I feel like there is no leadership, and what I really feel like is I had an epiphany last night and this morning. And you don't want to say this as a Cowboys fan. You don't want to be like, man, Shotty ain't that guy that's gonna get it done. You don't want to be like, Dak ain't the guy that's gonna get it done. We're not gonna win with that. But what I was thinking was I was just like, what I see happening, just like I swear, just like the first time I seen Shotty, I asked you who he was because I felt like they was gonna like him and he was gonna be the next coach. And that's exactly what happened.
Mm,
So I feel like the person that's gonna get this done and the person that's gonna be, I'm saying it now, the person that's gonna get it done and the person that's gonna be full of energy and that A type personality that we're looking for is gonna be Clayton Adams. That's what I feel like. I feel like Shotty is gonna be too passive enough, and I feel like we're gonna do all right this year. We're gonna probably get bounced in the playoffs again, but I feel like in a couple years, if we don't make it, all these players, all these teams gonna be trying to get Clayton Adams, and that's when Jerry and them gonna be like, okay, are y'all gonna let him get out of here, or y'all gonna just go ahead and give him what he looking for? Because I think that halfway through this season, I feel like Clayton Adams is gonna show up. It's gonna show. It's gonna show that his his offensive scheme and running the ball, like Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa, I feel like they're gonna be a good running tandem, and it's not gonna be because of the line. I feel like it's gonna be because of Clayton Adams, and I feel like that he's gonna have this team running the ball at least average because I feel like that's just what kind of coach he is. But I want to say this, Shotty is gonna be in his bag. And so the reason why I think that Shotty be on the sideline with no energy or nothing like that is because he's so used to being an offensive coordinator. And that's what he doing. He doing things that an offensive coordinator would do. Like last year. If Shotty was calling plays last year, would he have been on the sideline all juiced up? He wouldn't have been. He would have been doing what you see him doing now. So he
mm,
would have just been like behind the thing, calling plays. And when somebody mess up on the field, he's talking to the defensive coordinator up top. He talking to the OC up top. He talking to
So you're just seeing him. I was hoping that he would be more like a Sean McVay, but you're seeing him more like a Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan,
Mhm.
he's not a whole lot of emotion. He don't really talk to the players. So,
Mhm.
but you can
Because
do
he's
that.
focused on his
Yeah,
because what what's similar to these guys is that they both calling plays. You
yeah,
know,
and of course, the OGs will tell you that Landry was the same way. But here's the thing: you can be Tom Landry, you can be Kyle Shanahan, if your system is so good
Mhm.
that all the other stuff you don't need that. I'm not so sure that Shadi can be that coach. He needs to be the coach that he's been our training camp. He needs to show some energy, some pizzazz, some flair. And
Well, my thing is like you don't want to be a goofball. You don't want to be like getting blown out and then you
no,
on the sideline going
you
crazy.
don't, you don't. But
So,
I
but
think
he
that,
has been embarrassed because
but
this has
but,
been
but
a
he
shame.
needs the players too. And just going back to Micah, one of the things that Jared and them got to be looking at, they got to be they had to wake up today and just say to themselves, man, we finna screw up another season because our focus wasn't on stopping the run. From the time that the Green Bay game ended through last season, through last night, every day they should have got up saying to themselves during the draft, during the offseason. And we saw them get Pickens, which was a great, great move. But along with that, they should have just been saying to themselves, we got to do everything we can to stop the run. And there's no evidence that they did that. The evidence shows the opposite, which is, like I told B Bird, the stuff they do is just stunning to watch. They still, on August 16th, whatever the day is, they haven't figured out how to stop the run.
As I know what to your point, they've gotten worse.
Yeah, I think they were too because of the coach, because of the scheme.
Yeah, because of this game. Rob Marinelli was saying that we gonna stop the run, and he was emphasis was stopping the run. You could see that his
On the way
emphasis
to the
was stopping.
quarterback.
Listen, no, not Rob. I'm sorry, not Rob Marinelli. Zim.
Mm,
Zim was saying that his emphasis was gonna be on stopping the run, and he was getting tired of the people in the media asking that question. And you
yeah.
could see that he was trying to stop the run because even if we got beat, he would rather put us in a position to get beat over top than to not be than to get gashed. And it worked half the time. It
Yeah.
worked when Overshawn was on the field. So the Cowboys is what they gonna do is what Eberflus gonna do is Eberflus is going to use certain players to stop the run. And what he gonna do is he gonna
Who
use
who are they?
Micah, Jack Sanborn, Kenneth Murray, the guys that
Well,
we have not seen. He gonna be having
by the time the running back gets to them, he's 3 yards past the line of scrimmage.
that's what
Now,
they gonna do.
now we saw last night, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about Clark. He played his best game ever. He made some plays at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. So what they're gonna do, they're gonna say today that Clark showed you how we can stop the run, but again, it's fool's goal.
I mean, like I said, we sitting here on August the 16th of today, whatever the day is, and we can tell you right now that they got worse at stopping the run. They have not done
Mm,
it.
yeah,
And this
because
is
he
and this is like it really pisses me off when I'm watching because I watch all of the interviews. I watch Jerry's interviews. I watch the offensive coordinators. I watch Eberflus interviews. I watch Steven Jones interviews, and it's just like
did
the
Steven
Cow.
interview last night?
Nah, I didn't care. I didn't see it. But
Yeah.
my thing is like this: it's three things or four things that are like glaring mistakes within this franchise. That if they were to fix two or three of those things, they would win a Super Bowl or they'd win a championship. It's just like it's just a few things that they do that you can be like, yo, this is the problem right here. If y'all can fix this, I promise you can win a Super Bowl. I'm,
Hmm.
I'm willing to bet my life on it. And they will. And what pisses me off about it is two things. Those two or three things, or three or four things that are glaring that they won't fix, they go the opposite way. They say, you know what, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do our thing. Like they say, you know what, we're not gonna draft DTs because that's what we want to do. Like if you could tell them, listen, man, y'all need a star running back, like a first, second, or third running back, first, second round, third round running back, and that will fix the offense. That will fix it. That's the one thing y'all need. They will say, you know what? We're not doing that. We're gonna
Running
get a
back by
set.
committee.
We're gonna do running back by committee because that's what we want to do. Or, or,
Hmm.
or, or they'll say, or you'll say, dude, if you get two or three, you know, trash cans full of dirt, this defense is fixed. You can fix the run with that, and your defense will be fixed. They'll say, nah, we gonna keep Mozzie, and we gonna get a whole bunch of
Well,
hybrid linebackers. That's
well,
what
no,
we're gonna do.
they'll tell you instead of getting a couple of trash cans for the dirt, we're gonna get two, three techniques, and we're gonna go that way.
Mhm. Yeah, we're gonna
That's what
have
they
Sam.
do.
We're gonna have Sam Williams playing one tech.
Mm, yep.
So that's what they do. And if you tell them, listen, guys, you got a lot of cap space. Any other team, all other 30 teams in the 31 teams in the NFL could sign Derrick Henry, and they could sign George Pickett, and they could sign Micah, and they can get it all done this year, and they will still be up under the cap, and everything will go smooth. Nothing will change. It won't be negative at all. They'll say, you know what? Nah, because this is McCarthy's last year, so we're really done with him. We're not giving him anything, and so
Hmm.
we're gonna just go out there with what we got.
And hope
And
everybody is healthy.
right,
And
and these guys gotta step up. These
yep.
guys that we drafted in the fourth round, they gotta step up and
And
play.
tell Dak he gotta what they say about Dak. We'll go as far as Dak will take us,
Yeah, we'll go as far as Dak will take us because
or
it's a
do
contract year.
yeah do more with less.
And then it's just like,
But it's all come. Look, what we seeing right now, the rubber is meeting the road. The chickens are coming home to roost.
oh yeah,
If they don't figure something out here in the next couple of weeks, they will literally start 0-4 because the Giants is not going to be an easy game in game two.
mm-mm. Nah, the
Uh,
Bears ain't gonna be. The Bears are gonna try to
no,
put it on them.
yeah, when you go up to Chicago, Ben
Eberflus
Johnson.
coming back, they gonna try to kill him.
Well, see, Ben Johnson knows that beating Dallas is a signature win. That's going to
Yes,
put
sir.
him on the map. If they go 0-2 and Dallas is their third game, he gonna look at it like a playoff game.
They cannot. If we go 0-2 and we go to Chicago, they cannot lose that game because
Mm,
I'm talking about Chicago. If Chicago can't lose that game, because if they lose
yeah,
that game and we 0-2, that just lets the world know that they not for real. So they gonna be coming in ready. So, and then what pisses me off is that these things that are like glaring mistakes that the Cowboys organization makes over and over again, like not utilizing free agency. No one talks about that. They'll be at the press conference and they will talk. Lately Patrick Walker, uh,
Clarence
chill.
Hill.
Yeah, I'm gonna say chill. That's all I'm gonna say. Chill and Patrick Walker, they gonna ask him about it, and they risking their job. Jane, she got put out already, so she got she
Jane is back. She's back to throwing fastballs. But and what I want to say is, I keep hearing a lot of people say they risking their jobs. The bottom line is, if you are a freshman in
yeah.
journalism school, you know how to ask questions to get the information you need without putting your job on the line. So we need to stop saying that.
But see, here's the thing though. And here's the thing: when you dealing with people like Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones that are narcissistic people with these, to give you a prime example, Jerry, they asked Jerry straight up about Micah contract the other day. What's preventing y'all from talking? And Jerry said, about a bee, about a boo, bop, the stars and the sun in the sky. I mean, he
Mhm.
said nothing. So when you talking to people like that, you got to be like, no, 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 no. I said, what is stopping y'all from talking? We,
You
we
don't,
want to,
but you can't ask him like that. You
right.
gotta what you gotta do is, like I said, if you just fresh out of journalism school, you one of your comebacks to what he just said, you would just tell him in the what draft, what year did Michael come out? Was it 2020, 2021,
It
whatever it
was
was?
2020. You can always remember that it's 2020 because you got to remember that it was 2021 because you can always remember that because Micah set out is of Penn State that last year because of COVID.
COVID. COVID was 2020.
Yep.
So one of the uh comebacks to Jerry on Micah's contract, and I haven't heard it yet, is you could just let him know that everybody in Micah's draft class, including Patrick Surtain, they've all been re-signed. So can you explain why everyone in his draft class is signed except him? And also, Jerry, I wanna point out I've done some reading here, like however you want to put it. If they did a redraft of the 2020-21 draft, Michael would be the number one pick.
Yeah, of
So
course.
why is he not signed? And so when you put it like that, you're not putting your job on the line. You just giving him information that honestly, it
I
wouldn't
think
even shock
I,
me if he's not aware of it.
I think you putting your job on the line if you ask it like that, because Jerry gonna just be like what like what do you like?
Man,
Hey,
you could ask that question, and you can
what's
ask it. You can ask it in a better format that I just did, but you're gonna get the
you
same
know what
response.
you know what he gonna say? He gonna say, "What's your point? What's your point?"
Mhm. I
Hmm.
don't really have a point,
I,
but
I don't
yeah,
know, Jerry.
but the bottom line is, man, they. But here's the thing: they not fooling anybody. When you come up with what they doing now with these premieres for the documentary, and when you say the kind of stuff that he's saying, they really just dancing. Well, I say they. The only people that's talking is Jerry. You hadn't seen Steven.
No,
Steven,
because
I haven't seen Steven anywhere.
and that's why I'm talking about Steven. I'm shocked because I feel like Steven is embarrassed.
Hopefully, Steven is behind the scenes trying to get this contract done because they got to see after last night, if they don't get Michael back in here pretty quick, like next week, they literally just asking for it. Now, what I've been noticing is on the sideline, guys are having a good time. CD, all of the guys, they look like it ain't really affecting them. The guys on the sideline, so they ballers now. CD is a baller. Uh, Odigizua, Dak, Pickens. Pickens doesn't look frazzled at all. So that's the only thing that's gonna save them is that when the real bullet starts flying, they got some ballers. Uh, and so your theory is they got to score 30 points. I don't think they're gonna start out that way. I think it's gonna take them a few weeks to get that offense hitting on all cylinders. It will, but if they can just stay healthy, they're gonna be right there in week 18, 19, whatever the case may be. But if you can't stop the run, you're asking for it.
Well, here's the thing, and like you made a good point, and this is what I'm saying. When the bullets start flying, these players that the Cowboys have disrespected so much, like Dak and CD and Micah, and they haven't done Pickens yet, but he's gonna get there. These players that the Cowboys have done bad are going to be the reasons why that the Cowboys are even in a conversation that we talked about. Dak and CD and Pickens and Micah are going to be the only reason why this team has any wins this year. They're going to be the only reason why. It's not going to be because of coaching.
Mm.
I just don't see it because also, like I said, and to me, this is how it should be, and this is how. And to me, this is why other NFL teams are good too. It's because of the players. They have smart players. Like for instance, like when you just line up the offense, and you just line up the offense with your all of the people that play on the offense and all the coaches, including the head coach, if he's the offensive coordinator calling plays, and you just say who's the smartest football guy in here when it comes to football, X's and O's. Who's the smartest guy in here? If you talking to like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, it's gonna be a debate. It's gonna be like is a lot of people gonna say it's Andy Reid, you know. But if it's not Andy Reid, it's definitely Patrick Mahomes. If you ask yourself who's smarter out of Tom Brady and whoever their offensive coordinator was, who's smart enough to run these plays, call these plays the right way, it ain't gonna be whoever their quarterback was. It's gonna be whoever their offensive coordinator was. It's gonna be Tom Brady for sure. And you asked about Aaron Rodgers and Matt
And
LaFleur.
Belichick, of course.
Well, Belichick is not calling offensive plays. That's why I said the
Mm.
offense.
Oh, okay.
So you ask yourself, Matt LaFleur, who's smarter out of Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur to be calling these plays? You're gonna go with Aaron Rodgers every single time. I would rather Aaron Rodgers call the plays. So you ask yourself when you talk
You,
about Dak, and you ask yourself you talking about Dak or McCarthy. I would rather have Dak calling the plays every time. Would you ask yourself who you want calling the plays out of Dak and Schottenheimer? I'm gonna say
mm,
Dak every time. So
yeah,
the thing is, that's the that's gonna be how you're gonna win these games. It's because of the Dak and CD saying
yeah.
and George Pickens communicating to each other and saying like, yo, because it's really Dak. Like Shotty could call up a running play, but Dak is gonna get up to the line and be like, bro, they blitzing right here. So we got the ball. We got the I got to call out of this. And so,
Mm.
or they saying that, shot CD like, man, they cheating on the inside, bro. So, but
So so Dak is in his Romo phase where he just mastered the game.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's gonna get the offense through. But
yeah.
the thing is just like when he hands Blue the ball, can Blue go for 93 yards? And he will be able to. And
Mm.
can Maffa go for 1 or 2 yards to get this? He
I
will
think
be
your
able to.
I think your offense, as you're calling it, offense is going to be good. I just don't think they're
They
going to
are.
be good the first 3 or 4 games. It's going to take them a few games to get their sea legs. But at the end of the day, if everybody stays healthy, offense is going to be solid. They're going to be straight. Even the running backs, they should have got a premier back. But you saw against did we play the Rams or the Chargers the first game? It was the Rams.
Yeah.
Running backs, they played well. Everybody did. Mafa, Malik Davis. They didn't give Deuce any carries in the Rams game. He would have been fine if they did. Deuce was okay last night. The plays that
Mhm.
Miles Sanders had, Deuce would have got those first downs
Mhm.
easily, because
Mhm.
he's Miles Sanders. He running straight up. His pad level was too high. That's why he didn't get the first down a couple of times that we tried. So, but anyway, yeah, your offense, the defense, that's your problem.
Yes, sir.
And you got enough good players on the edges. Your edges are going to be really good.
Mhm.
I think your linebackers are going to be good. You're going to need a lot of them because they're going to get banged up because they're going to
Mhm.
be making a lot of tackles. So you need everybody.
Your
Probably
cornerbacks, your cornerbacks are going to be okay toward the end of the year.
corners are going to be okay toward the end of the year. Now the start of the year you're going to have Bland, Elam, and I still don't know who your third is going to be. Um, so you got, am I missing somebody? I got Bland, Elam. Who's our other corner?
Yeah, you missing
And that and that
something.
and that's your problem. We got issue with corner. That's why they need to sign Gilly. Now some of the
Izzy, Kalen Carson,
Kalen Carson is not going to be ready. Sharon
Izzy,
Ravel is not going to be ready. They don't have Izzy playing corner at all. Just FYI, they got Izzy playing safety, and they got him playing kind of I
Nickel.
get nickel, kind of like a rover type. I can't even figure out if he's in the slot. That's why it's a lot of people saying they need to get a corner. I'm not a big fan myself of what's the corner? He's been hurt. His dad played for the Patriots. Um, what's his name? I'm losing
Mm,
my train of thought. He played
see,
for the Chargers.
I don't even
He's
know who.
one of the guys that when they talk about Gilly, they always bring him up.
Oh, dang.
Anyway,
Asante Samuel.
Sante Samuel Jr. I'm not a big fan of his myself, but um, so yeah. But once the corners, everybody comes around, we still don't know if Diggs is gonna play in that first game. I read something that said that if he plays 17 games, he gets $1 million bonus.
You were talking about Andrew Booth.
Andrew Booth,
See,
uh,
here's the chart
yeah,
right here. I got to pull it up. So it says this is the depth chart. It says Kyer Elam, Keeman Hall, and Deron Bland are going to be the corners, and
Keenan
that
Hall is more of a slot.
they have him playing at nickel cornerback. They
Yeah.
gonna be they gonna be going at Kyer
Then you
Elam and
got
Keelan Hall.
Childress. He's kind of in the mix.
He way back there. They got Bruce Harmon, C.J. Goodwin, Robert Rochelle, Troy Pride Jr., Andrew Booth.
Yeah, you're gonna be you kind of thin at corner. Now they got 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and it's gonna be somebody out there that they can sign, somebody that can come in and play. So I feel by the time they go to Philly on September 4th, you're probably gonna have a good enough corner room to hold a fort down. And I had this thing in my mind that the pup was 6 games. It's actually 4 games, so that's not bad. So
Nah, it ain't.
If Diggs starts out on pup, if he misses 4 games, you're probably gonna be good there.
Which they gonna
Uh,
try to do because that million thing and
hmm
it's just like Trayvon said he's ready. So this is the depth chart right here, and so we know that. Okay, so with the running backs, my running backs, if I had to do it today, my running backs is gonna be Javonte Williams, who we have not seen at all. Miles Sanders is gone. So my running backs would be Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, and Phil Maffa. That's who my running backs would be. I would have
You got
Lukey.
Luke, yeah.
Yeah, I would have Lukey, but I was gonna put him somewhere else. But you can add Lukey in there. Then my wide receivers are CD, George Pickens, and Cavante Turpin. On the depth chart, they even have Cavante Turpin and Jalen Tolbert side by side, which I've never seen that before.
So Tober is probably safe now because Mingo is going to be out. So the
Yep.
question about the
Uh,
receivers is we're trying to figure out a way to get Holden and Flanoy on the roster as well.
yeah, Lenore and Holden should be on the roster. My tight ends would be Jake Ferguson, Mervin Spanford, and John Stevens. Luke Schoonmaker is gonna take up a spot, so it's
You
gonna
got
be
Fairweather.
so I take that back. So it would be Jake Ferguson, Fairweather, and Brevin Spanford is who mine would be. But Luke Schoonmaker gonna probably beat out. I mean, gonna beat out them.
Yeah, they gonna keep Luke. They gonna keep Schoon.
And then they gonna keep Brevin Spanford because he was here last year. So they
Oh
gonna
yeah,
he's gonna beat him. He
and
gonna
he
beat
and he was
everybody.
gonna be the number 2 before he got hurt.
Right. So your Tyler Guyton and Nate Thomas and Asim Richards, they gonna be able to hold down the left tackle side. All of them look good. Except Tyler Guyton. We didn't see Tyler Guyton, but Nate Thomas and Asim Richard, they look good. Tyler
Yeah,
Smith, he gonna look good. TJ Bass look good. Cooper BB look good. Hoffman
Hoffman
look
played
good.
well. The offensive line as a group, they're pretty decent.
They are.
Um,
And then again, you got Hunter Lukey down there at fullback, so that's gonna be good. Our offensive line is gonna be good. And now the defensive line is they got Marshawn Nealon, Mozzie, Osa, and Micah. And so I mean, well, they got Tyrus Wheat and James Houston as a fourth team. James Houston would be my second team, and they got Micah. This is the left defensive end group. They got Micah Parsons, Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, and then Donovan Izaraku. Which yesterday I don't, the Cowboys haven't got a sack in the whole preseason. So all of the hype on Donovan Izaraku, I'm just, he didn't blow me away like I expected him to. Like they were hyping him up. And Sam Williams to me didn't look like he was a veteran playing against rookies. That's not what he looked like to me. So, and Marshawn Nealon, he don't never look like that to me. He be doing some all right stuff. So to me, you really want to see James Houston and you want to see Dante Fowler Jr. and of course Micah. You know what I'm saying? That's who my edges will be. They're gonna be good at edge. I mean, I guess. But Mozzie, Jay Toya, Perry Young Winfrey will be my starter. And then Osa and Solomon Thomas will be my three ticks. And Mozzie, Jay Toya, Perry Young Winfrey, that group right there is what's gonna get us messed up. Uh And so that's the group right there that line right there, Mozzie, Jay Toya, and Perry Young Winfrey and Denzel Daxon. That
mm,
line right there is the line that I'm looking at on all the other teams right now to try to find someone that's better than all of them. Trying to find someone better than Mozzie, trying to find someone better than Jay Toye, trying to find someone better than Perry Young Winfrey. Those are what I'm trying to find somebody better than and
mm.
doing whatever I got to do to get him.
So I think all of the guys that you mentioned, they're gonna probably like Winfrey has been really good. He was good. He was okay in the game last night. Um, Toya, man, he's a rookie. It is what it is. So, but yeah, it was some people they were posting some things last night about Mozzie. I saw something today. He was getting blown up to about 8 yards. It's really at this point, the Mozzie thing. It's not even worth getting your blood pressure up. I think he's gonna be on the team. Um, so look, they really need one techs. But what you got to look at is kind of the chicken and the egg theory. We back in that Dan Quinn thing where we always thought that Dan Quinn didn't want Bobby Wagner. He really wasn't looking for linebackers the whole time. He was. It was the front office. So now, is the front office not wanting a one tech, or is it Eberflus just saying I don't really need one? We're gonna find out at some point.
And then also, with our research, like, man, listen. So the NFL, the way that the contracts are set up in this escrow account that they have to have, so the contracts affect the owner's financial bottom line. Like their personal money is involved with these contracts. It may be the NFL salary cap and it might be the NFL money, but their personal finances, like their bank accounts, their personal finances, their net worth is tied into these contracts. As a matter of fact, in the worst way. And when I say that, I mean like their personal finances has to back up the guaranteed portions of the contract. So if a player gets a $200 million contract and it's all guaranteed, a specific percentage of that money has to go into an escrow account. We don't know what the percentage is. It's not out there. It's not public. But a specific percentage of that money, cash on deck, has to go into an escrow account. And that money comes directly out of the NFL owner's bank account, their money, their pocket,
Yeah.
individually.
Yeah. And so this is kind of a new theory that we just developed last night. And I had heard Broados talk about this in times past. So what I'm gonna do is, and I just thought about this. I'm gonna reach out to Outlaw. He and I are pretty cool. And Outlaw Cowboy is his Twitter. What do you call it?
Yeah, Twitter handle and
Twitter handle. And so I'm gonna try to see if we can do a show with him. He just started his own channel, by the way. Well, he may not have started it yet, but anyway,
Outlaw is really good.
he's a salary cap Yoda, and so I wanna run this theory by him, and I really believe that this is one of the reasons why they don't want to do free agency, and one of the reasons why when it comes to signing big contracts like Dak, Dez, CD, they're all in a tizzy because this is really impacting them in a way. So B Bird, appreciate you joining. Uh, so B Bird, I'm gonna send you a message. I think the show that you and I did is probably one of the most watched shows we've ever done. So
No,
appreciate you, man.
it is the most
The
one.
most watched that we've done. So I got to
Mhm.
send that information over to you, B Bird. So he said that Coach Marv has talked about this. Coach Marv is another guy that we're gonna try to hook up with during the season.
Yeah,
He's one of the OGs.
I love
So
listening to Coach.
this
I love
theory is one that other people are talking about, and I believe that's one of the reasons that they not really involved in free agency. They're draft and develop.
Mhm.
They do this thing that they do with the contracts because it's impacting them financially in some kind of way. So that's
But,
one of the mysteries of the universe that we haven't been able to figure out, like the pyramids of Egypt.
well, we figured that
What?
out, but go ahead.
Well, you figured it out, yeah. But uh, but yeah, that's one of the great mysteries of the NFL is why do the Joneses? Why don't they just spend money on this? For example,
So Bieber, hold
why do they have the 31st highest paid coach versus the first highest paid coach?
yeah, and it's like that all the time. So
Now is this true? The coach, that's not even part of the salary cap.
that's correct.
So
So
why don't they always have the highest paid coach?
right,
I think we know the answer.
yeah, I think we know the answer. Yeah, I want y'all to look at this. Now, this is AI, and look what I typed in. So, B Bird, check this out. I put in, does NFL uh, contracts impact the owner's finances? And it says, this is AI. It says, yes, NFL player contracts directly impact the finances of team owners. And it says what I just said. It says, While the NFL operates under a salary cap, there is a distinction between the total contract value and guaranteed money within it. Teams are required to place guaranteed money into an escrow account at the time the contract is signed. This means a significant portion of the player's contract is essentially locked away and unavailable for other uses, even if it's not immediately paid to the player.
Okay. Now I also believe that's how we got Eberflus because they're getting him at a discount. That's why he's the coach. That's why he was. I mean, the minute he got fired, I'm talking about within minutes, his name was surfacing as a possible cowboy, not only a head coach, but as a lead coordinator. And you have to ask yourself why.
And
Why?
also, to add to your point, when they were talking about hiring Kellen, one of the main reasons why they were floating around hiring Kellen is because they knew he wasn't going to take a lot because this is going to be his first time being a head coach. So
And that might be why they hired Shotty.
there you go. And also, to Bieber's point, what Coach Marvin said, they're cash poor. That makes sense because look at the next bullet point. It says cash flow. It says for owners who may not have massive amounts of readily available cash, meeting the escrow requirement for large guaranteed contracts can be a significant financial burden. This
Yeah.
money is unavailable for other investments like team infrastructure, stadium improvements, or even other player signings.
And also,
Mm.
we talked about this last night, you and I. So Jeffrey Lurie, he sold a percentage of the Eagles' ownership. Do you remember what the number was? But
Um,
and how I'm probably using the wrong way to describe it. We talked about it last night,
mhm,
and so you said that would Jerry and Steven do this? Jeffrey Lurie's done it, and I think the Giants did it.
mhm,
And so what that did is that gave them a lot of cash, a lot of money on hand,
mhm.
and so that's going to make Philadelphia even more competitive. But I don't believe Jerry and Steven would do that because they're going to want every dime, every penny going to the grandkids and the great grandkids. So they're not doing that. And
Right.
so what that means is, making a long story short, and now we can go ahead and wrap because I got to make a phone call, wind down. I think the end result is, B Bird, that it's going to be a draft and develop team. These guys, they ain't trying to spend a lot of money on these players. They don't want to do no free agency, and that's why we've been trying to figure out what is going on with them in free agency. I think one of the mysteries of the universe, they don't really want to spend the money,
Mm-mm. Because it affects them. They're cash poor.
and so you got to draft and develop. When you drafting and developing, you pretty much got to just hit it. You can't have a Nashawn Wright or Josh Ball or Kelvin Joseph.
Hmm.
You can't really have a Mozzie or a Schoon. You
And the
got to
thing,
hit every pick.
and then on top of that, listen to this. You really can't even do that because it's the cart before the horse or the whatever thing. Because if you hit on every draft pick, that means you're gonna have to pay
Yeah.
every draft pick, which you cannot do, which you're trying to stay away from doing anyway. So they're in a lose-lose situation because if they gotta pay all of these players that they draft, if they all do good and they win the championship and they gotta pay these players, they're not gonna be able to because they're not gonna want to because it's because they're cash poor. It's
But
just like
but the
this.
trade but the trade off is, if you're drafting well, you drafting really good players, you're going to be in a better position to win games, win playoff games, and then if those players end up signing with another team, you do get the compensation in the draft pick. So
That's
there
true,
is a
but
there is a positive sign to drafting good.
I think that the Cowboys, I think that the Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, I think that their primary focus is not about winning.
Hmm.
Because if their primary focus was about winning, they wouldn't do the things that they do. Like if your primary focus was about winning, there would be no way you don't use free agency. If your primary focus was on winning, there would be no way that your coach would be the least paid coach. That just those two things don't go together. So
Yeah.
it's just like they're not focused on winning. If you're focused on
So
winning, you would not pass over a cheap Derrick Henry to bring back Zeke. You wouldn't do that
yeah.
if you're trying to win. I mean, why would you?
So I mean, I think the answer has been staring us right in the face. We haven't seen it. Like the mystery of the pyramids. You know how they did it. We went years, hundreds of years trying to figure that out. But I think what we know is that at the end of the day. Uh, this is why you've had Jason Garrett, Wade Phillips,
Yep.
uh, these coaches, because you ain't paying them a lot.
Mike
Uh,
Nolan,
Mike Nolan. Uh, they could have signed the 49ers defensive coordinator.
Mike Salah,
They could have signed Robert Saleh,
Robert Salah.
but the 49ers made him the highest paid coach, defensive coordinator in the league. The Cowboys could have done that.
They could have signed Zim.
Yeah. And so with Zim, that was the issue with Zim. They knew if they hired Zim as the head coach, it was going to be expensive. He wasn't going to take the bottom of the barrel. Also, if Zim had remained as defensive coordinator, they had to do a new contract, a brand new contract with Zim. So that he was out. That
I'm
that
gonna
wasn't even an option.
I'm gonna say this and then we can wrap. And this is to make it so easy. It's really complicated, but it can be looked at so easy, broken down so easily. So if you got this business over here, that this business over here that you own, that you own a percentage of, or that you outright own, this business can lose hundreds of millions of dollars at any time. You know, it fluctuates. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. The network, the amount of money that's in this business, you lose hundreds of millions of dollars on this business over here, and you gain them all throughout the year. You're just trying to stay equal. Well, if you're doing that, and that right there is your livelihood, but you got this other business over here. This business is the Dallas Cowboys. This business over here, you have to be very careful that you don't lose a lot of money on this business over here, because if you lose a lot of money on this business over here and then you lose money on this business over here, now you done lost everything. So what you have to do is you have to keep one of those businesses hot running, and it has to be running, and you can't be careless. You can't not be. It's just like if you have two bank accounts. One bank account, you can just swap. You can just swipe your card and you can do a little spending on here. You can do that. But this bank account over here pays your rent. So you cannot touch this bank account. You have to be careful with this one. You can't spend on this one. If you do spend, it has to be very minimal and you have to be very careful. And that's what the Cowboys are doing with the Cowboys franchise. They're saying that this business over here, we got to be very careful. We can't be spending a lot of money on this in this business. We can't be doing a lot of this. We can't be doing a lot of that. That's what they saying.
Yeah. Well, that's what's happening. And so, you know, that's why we're doing a Dollar General thing. That's why we're sitting here with 2 weeks to go before the season start. We don't have a one technique. And your defensive coordinator that you hired, that you're getting on a discount, I'm not even sure that he wants or is looking for a one technique, people. We may just be looking at it, may be a little bit of both. That's not something that, Ron Marinelli, he didn't want the players. He didn't they told him we could have TJ Watt. He was like, no, we don't really need that. He doesn't fit what we're doing. We just gonna get Taco. Uh, Matter of fact, we're gonna go way back, and this is the thing about the Cowboys. First of all, Ron Marinelli never would have been hired by the 49ers or the Ravens or the Chiefs. But Ron Marinelli is the coach that came in the draft room and told the scouting department that we don't need a corner because I don't really need a corner. You guys need a running back, so let's take Zeke. That was a Ron Marinelli thing then. So again, this is what they've done. So what we may be looking at now, they've got their new Marinelli and Eberflus. He's probably not asking for a lot, which is fine with them. He's probably telling them, guys, I'm just whatever you guys want to do, I'm good with it, and we're gonna just roll with it. So that's probably what we're looking at now. What's up, nephew?
He said
So
top tier coaches aren't going to allow the Joneses to play GM. Nope, they sure
mm-mm,
not.
yep. So it's
I do you one even better. Not a top tier coach, it's a smart coach.
yeah. So yeah, look, Shotty, he got to figure out what he's doing in the next couple of weeks. He needs to have one side of the ball play really well. They need to get Michael signed. I mean, that's gonna help a lot. So they got to be thinking today. What we seen last night, I'm thinking that Michael's gonna get signed this week. So what's the final word on Mingo? Did they? I haven't seen anything on him.
I haven't heard anything either. I checked before the show. I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
All
pretty
right.
much, I mean, they say this, they fear it's a PCL, so regardless, he's not gonna be ready to go week one. So
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap. I got to call one of the guys in my chapter.
okay, well, appreciate you guys for logging on with us on this Sunday. we're gonna get ready to wind down, and yeah, I'm thinking that Micah gonna get done. Well, only time will tell, but I'm thinking it'll be done within the next right before the season starts. So CD got signed on August 26th, and that got signed in September. So we'll see
That's
what
what we're
happens
looking
with
at.
that. And we appreciate you guys for joining us, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all in a couple days. Might hop on tomorrow if some news breaks. So we'll see you all then. Until next time,